Module 13, Lesson 2 covers reflections. The textbook once again is claiming this is a simple one-day lesson. However, we do have 15 resources to get through on it. A kaleidoscope is a toy consisting of a tube with mirrors and pieces of colored paper or glass. The series of mirrors reflect the pieces of paper or glass to create different geometric patterns. The reflections and patterns change as you turn the kaleidoscope. The reflection made by the mirror is similar to a geometric reflection of a figure across a line on the coordinate plane. What do you think it means to reflect the triangle shown across the y-axis? Describe how the reflection of the triangle will lie and what it will look like. These are some of the things we're going to be learning about in today's lesson. A reflection is a mirror image of the original figure. It is the result of a transformation across a line called the line of reflection. We've also, in other classes, we've referred to that as a line of symmetry because it's going to be the same on both sides of that line. When reflecting a figure, each point of the pre-image and its image are the same distance from the line in the reflection. The image and the pre-image are also going to be congruent. So we're going to select each button to see triangle XYZ reflected across the x-axis, the y-axis, and the line y is equal to 2. So let's come down here and scroll out just a little bit, and your x-axis is right here. So when we reflect it across the x-axis, that means it's going to go floop and flop upside down right there. The z is 3 points away. Z and z prime are 3 points away. X and x prime are 6 points on opposite sides of the line of reflection. And your y prime, those are all 3 points away from your line of reflection. Now, if we were to take and do it across the y-axis, it's going to look like that. Your x and your x prime are 3 points across the line of reflection. Your z and your z prime are 2 points across the line of reflection. And your y prime, those are going to be 5 points across the line of reflection. And then finally, they say, well, what the line of y is equal to 2. On that one, you can see how it reflected to where your y-axis was moved up 2 spaces. So if you were one above, you go 1 below. If you are 4 above, you go 4 below. Don't stress that one. We'll have to get to that. We're not ready for you to understand that too much. Just understand these two for right now, and when we get to the others, we'll help you guide you through it. For example 1, the graph of triangle ABC is shown. Graph the image triangle ABC after the reflection across the x-axis. The x-axis is this one right here, so we're going to reflect it over it, and then we're going to write the coordinates of that new image. So when we go into this, we have to take every single point, however high up it is above the x-axis, we have to flip it down the same number of places. So for point A is 2 spaces above, so it's going to go 2 spaces below, and you put the little tick mark there saying now that is called A prime. Next, we're going to take and, I guess do point B next. No, is that all they're showing us on that? That's just downright disappointing. I guess it is. So you're going to do the same exact thing to all 3 of your points. B was 3 points above the line. B prime is 3 points below the x-axis. C was 1 space above the x-axis. C prime is going to be 1 space below the x-axis. So when you write in the coordinates, A is going to be A prime is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Superman runs before he flies. 1, 2. So it's going to be 5, negative 2. We put in our parentheses, and then going to type 5, comma, space, negative 2. Next, B prime is going to be 1, negative 3. So I'm going to put it right here, parentheses, 1, comma, negative 3. And then C prime is going to be negative 1, negative 1. So we're going to put in that as negative 1, comma, negative 1, accept and check, and all the answers check. And I hope this helps you to see what a reflection is. Just however high it is above, or however far it is on one side of the line, you move it that same distance to the other side of the line. Now it's going to be your turn to do the reflection of quadrilateral KLMN across the y-axis. That's going to be this one right here. What all are they going to let you do? Well, you're going to have to actually graph it going across. After you graph it going across, then you're going to get to put in what the coordinates are of each of the new points. Work on that now. Alright, so I'm going to start off with a point here. And that point, I'll start with K. K is 2 points on the right side of the y-axis. We're reflecting across the y-axis, so I'm going to go 2 points on the left side of it. My next point is going to be point L. L is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces on the right. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces on the left. From here, I'm going to do M. M is going to be 4 spaces on the right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces on the left. And then N is only 1 space on the right, so I'm going to go 1 space onto the left. From here, it's just a matter of connecting the dots. And right there, you have your reflection, which we can check it. Uh-oh, what's going on? Should be right. Let me try doing it in the order that they gave it to us. K, L, M, N, and back here. And now what does it say? It still says it's wrong. Well, what does it say the right answer is? And you know what? Their answer is the same exact thing that I just drew, so I think it's broken. Now we're going to do our points. So this was K, this is K prime, which is going to be at -2, +3. So my K prime is going to be at point parentheses, -2, comma, 3, close the parentheses. My next point, L prime, is going to be at -5, 1. So I'm going to go down here. L prime is going to be at -5, comma, space 1. Accept. And then N prime is going to be at -1, -1. So N prime here, actually that's going to be that one. It's going to be parentheses, -1, comma, space, -1. And M prime is going to be over here, which is -4, -2. So I'm going to type in my -4, comma, space, -2. Accept and check. And all those check. I'm not sure why it's saying the graph is wrong. The graph is right. Now let's look at example number 2, where we have triangle EFG, and they want to graph the image EFG after reflection across the x-axis, across the line x equals 3. Excuse me. That's going to change things up a little bit. So let's look at how we're going to do that. We're going to start off by putting a line right here on x equals 3. A vertical line where x is equal to 3. And we have to reflect each one of these points on the other side of that line. So moving forward here. And you can see that if we take and click on the E point here, E was 1 point to the left, so now E is 1 point to the right of that line. And you would do the same for each one of these points along the way. F is 3 points to the left, F becomes 3 points to the right of this line. G is a whole bunch, 6 points to the left, it goes 6 points to the right of that line. And when you graph it, it's going to look like this, where this is going to be your line of reflection. It's no longer the x-axis. X equals 3 is going to be your line of reflection, and now we're going to have to log in where each of those values are. So E prime is going to be, start from the origin. Don't make that mistake. You count from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So E prime is going to be 4 comma space 4. And then we're going to do F prime is the next one, and it is from the origin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So it's going to be 6 comma space -2. And then our last one is going to be point G, and point G, you can see from the origin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2. So that is going to be 0.9 comma space 2, accept, and check. Everything checked perfect. That's all there is to showing your work on these. Now I do want to take a minute and point out this stuff right here. You notice how they change E to E prime. So when you're talking about the different points, E was the original, E prime's your new point. F was the original or the pre-image, and F prime is a new point or the image. G was the original point or the pre-image. G prime, that's going to be your image or your new image. Easy. And now you get to take a shot at this. Go ahead and work on extra example 2, and you're going to do it where x is equal to a -1. So your vertical line is going to go right here where x is equal to -1. Go ahead and pause this video and work on that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vertical line and I'm going to put it where x is going to be -1. So right here I've got my vertical line. X is -1. Now I got to start reflecting my different points. So the first point I'm going to reflect, J is 2 points to the right of this line. So I'm going to go 2 points to the left, and we're going to call that J prime. The next point we're going to do is K. K is 3 points to the right of this line, so we're going to go 3 points to the left of that line. The next point we're going to have is K. L. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points to the right of that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points to the left of that line. And finally, the last point we have is M, which is 7 points to the right of that line. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points to the left of that line. Finally, we need to take and connect the dots. So I'm going to go from J to K to L to M and back to J. Let's see if it's going to give us credit. It says it's wrong. It's not wrong. It is indeed going to be the correct answer. Next, we have to find the values of each of these points. So X, we're going to start at the origin. J prime, we'll start at the origin and go -1, -2, up 1, up 2. So J prime is going to take place at point -2, 2. And I didn't make you watch me fill out all those others. Check it, and it almost checks what I miss on that one. So that's my J prime. We're going to go from the origin, -1, -2, up 1, up 2. That is where J prime is located. I'm not really sure why it's marking it wrong. Let's try and do it one more time and see what it does. I'm going to do -2, comma, up 2, accept, and try and check it again. And it says the answer they're claiming is -3, but it clearly is not going to be -3. Actually, it is -3 because I totally did not count on that being an odd number of lines there. Yep, I missed my origin. Oh well, I missed one of them. And that is a really good example about why you need to be careful about what line you're using to count from. I was counting from the wrong line. Go ahead and stop this video. We're going to start on part 2 here in just a minute and continue our study into reflections.